cost containment is going on within the bank. I recognise that there. The same exists in AIB. We had yesterday the CEO of AIB saying that he cut executive pay and pay of senior staff by between 10 and 15%. Has that happened within the bank? And can you outline the most senior salary, expenses and pension entitlement within the bank?
We have looked at remuneration across the board in the bank. We seek to control remuneration. Part of the remuneration controls is also pension benefits, which is a significant cost, and there were significant reductions in pension benefits taken by all staff in the bank in 2011 as part of our restructuring, and that's the pay and remuneration. The disclosures regarding pay and remuneration for the directors of the bank are set out in our annual report.
Can you outline to the committee, I presume that you're the highest paid official within the bank, can you outline what that salary is?
It's in the annual report there.
Can you, for the purpose of just for the committee, can you outline that at this point in time?
I will give the deputy the relevant disclosure.
Are you afraid to say publicly how much you're paid?
I'll give the deputy the relevant disclosure in our annual report.
Is it in excess of €500,000?
Yes.
Yes. And given the fact that the state has introduced a cap of €500,000, do you believe it's appropriate, given the fact that the state has injected over €5 billion into the bank?
The investments by the state were set out in our presentation, and the cash coming back from the state is set out in our presentation. The director's remuneration report is put to the shareholders of the bank every year. I, as a director, stand for election by our shareholders every year, and I've stood for election the last 4 years. Remuneration of the directors, including my own remuneration, has been in front of the shareholders for the last 4 years, and the shareholders have been voted in favour.
Okay, very unsatisfactory from my point of view, which I'm, along with other Irish citizens, are a shareholder in your bank. And I think if we asked the 15%, the ones that own 15%, they wouldn't be satisfied with that.
I suppose what they're making themselves is an issue.
Yeah, I think it's very glaring, and there's a big difference between the CEO of AIB, who was before the committee yesterday, and the CEO of Bank of Ireland, who's before the committee today, in terms of the transparency and openness. Richie Boucher refuses to tell us how many individuals with the bank are in mortgage arrears of over 90 days. He refused to answer me what he has been paid, although it's now on public record that his payment that he got, his package that he got, was in the region of €839,000 for last year. But obviously, as I put to him, he's embarrassed to put that on the public record, given that this state, the taxpayer, has ensured that the bank has a future by investing €5.4 billion into it, and has guaranteed the liabilities of the banks into the future as well. So it's very disappointing that somebody who's been paid that amount of money isn't being forthcoming with his answers in relation to the committee. I think the other thing that's galling is the fact that 1 year on, in terms of the solutions for people that are in mortgage distress, that only 13 individuals have been suggested for the buy to rent scheme. Less than 250 individuals altogether has been suggested for a number of other schemes, and it's very clear that when the central bank dressed them down in that public dressing of saying that they were dragging their feet, that it's very clear that this is what Bank of Ireland are doing.
So, I mean, did he give any indication of trying to tackle that mortgage arrears problem in any new way, in any kind of a realistic, visible way?
Well, he under questioning from myself, he gave the impression that it was the central bank's fault. That the reason that they haven't dealt with more than 13 applications for the mortgage to rent was that it was the central bank that was dragging their feet in this year. So it's not clear. It's very disappointing. He then went on to say that the Department of Environment were involved in this year, and I think it was kind of a pass the buck. But at the end of the day, what he did acknowledge is that it is the Bank of Ireland who is ultimately responsible. 1 year on, with the amount of people that are in mortgage distress, 13 individuals, not processed yet, but being suggested for processing under this scheme, is just completely and utterly pathetic. And real questions have to be asked. Why does the state support such a bank and pay an individual above €800,000 in a package last year, when this is the type of the advancements that we're seeing in the mortgage issue?